When Siyu came home, the corner of his mouth was red. I asked, "What? Did your little mistress hit you?" He replied, "Are you a wee?" I said she'd never kissed a guy before, so I let her have a try. "Are you a wee? Never heard of her. Looks like he's got another one." I shrugged and said nothing. But Siyu suddenly lost it. "Just be Mrs. Sheehan, don't go bothering. Are you a wee?" A warning like that was a first. "So, this time it's true love?" "Fine," but he took out his phone and transferred money to my account. 2 million yuan. I didn't argue. So what if I'm mercenary? If feelings are unreliable? Why shouldn't I rely on money? If this had been his first affair, I wouldn't have been so calm. But this was the 8th, 9th? We grew up together. When my biological parents took me back but favored their adopted daughter, Ji protected me. When I had no place in that house, he married me against his parents' wishes, promising me a home. I still remember him saying, "When Ning is the love of my life." So when I first discovered he'd cheated, my world collapsed. I cried, screamed, smashed everything. Once, I even held a knife to him, thinking we should end it together. It was our son's Zizen calling Mom that stopped me. If I hurt him or myself in front of our son, what would become of Zizen? When I put down the knife, Ji looked at me with disgust. "Look at yourself. Shrew." No wonder I looked elsewhere. "Why don't you look at yourself?" His words made me doubt myself. Had I really become a shrew? Was it my fault? I fell into a daze for half a year. Then, in a moment, I understood. Men didn't matter anymore, but Zizen couldn't grow up without a mother. I couldn't stop Siyu from cheating. So I had to fight for my son. I confronted him with evidence of his affairs and said I'd forgive him for a price. He sneered and transferred 20 million. After that, every time he cheated, I demanded compensation. His opinion of me changed from shrew to mercenary. I calculated that with this recent transfer, I had about 200 million yuan in my account. One day, I got a photo from my best friend by Jingyi. It showed Ziyu and Zizin with a girl I didn't know. The girl was putting food on Xian's plate. I knew this was our Uoi. Jiyu could do whatever he wanted. How dare he introduce his mistress to our son? When he came home, he accused me of sending Jingyi to harass our Uoi. Confused, I asked Zizin what happened. He said Jingyi had slapped our Uoi. And then added, "Mom, our Uoi is different from those other women. She's a good person." I was stunned. When Ziyu first cheated, Zizin had screamed at his father, "Don't hurt my mom." Now he was calling his father's mistress a good person. I decided to confront our Uoi at the office. When I opened the door, I saw her sitting on Jiuyu's lap. Her face looked like mine when I was young. Jiuyu told me to go home and stop causing trouble. Back home, Zizin scolded me, saying I should apologize to our Uoi. He said she was saving their loveless marriage, not breaking it up. I looked at my son as if he were a stranger. The shock made me sick. I ran a high fever. The housekeeper called Jiuyu and Zizin, but neither came back. She called an ambulance. I lay in the hospital for a day, alone except for the housekeeper. When the fever broke, I understood. I had money, and Zizin had our Uoi. He didn't need me anymore. I called my lawyer. At the hospital, I saw Ziyu helping our Uoi. He thought I'd gotten sick because I knew she was pregnant. Zizin rushed in, saying he was going to have a little brother. I told them I wanted a divorce. Jiu called it nonsense and left. Zizin said, "Stop making a scene, Mom," and followed him. I went to my mother-in-law. She didn't stop me. She transferred 50 million to me and said, "When Ning, live for yourself after the divorce. Don't believe a man who says he'll love you forever." The divorce went through. Zizin only found out when I was packing. He cried, asking if I was abandoning him. I smiled and said, "Are you I understand you better than I do. You should stay with her." He clutched my clothes. Crying, "Mom, I had the housekeeper take him away." After the divorce, I invested in a startup I'd been watching. The founder, Lin Yang, often came to discuss progress. 3 years passed. The company grew and so did my wealth. I bought my own house, cutting all ties with the Z family. Then Jiyu called, saying Zizin was missing from school. Half an hour later, Zizin appeared at my door. He'd grown taller, pimples on his face. He said he missed me. I asked coldly, "So, you're not missing me, you're missing being loved. Since no one loves you at home, you remembered me." He cried, "It's not my fault. You abandoned me," I said. "No, I gave you what you wanted. I let you stay with our UOWI." He admitted he was wrong, and our UOWI had only pretended to care. After her son was born, she ignored him. He was invisible at home. I called Ziyu to come get him. Ziyu came red-eyed, saying he wanted to make it up to me. I felt nothing. To make them give up, I lied and said I was pregnant, I had a new life and didn't want them bothering me. Ziyu couldn't believe it. "You have another man? You couldn't even wait 3 years?" I slapped him hard. "We've been divorced for years. Why would I stay faithful to you?" I slammed the door. Later, Ziyu returned, begging me to remarry. He said he'd treat my child as his own. Before I could slap him again, Lin Yang put his arm around my waist and said, "My wife and child are none of your concern." Jiu left dazed. I apologized to Lin Yang, saying my lies had dragged him into this. He said what he'd said wasn't all lies. He liked me before my divorce. If it weren't for my investment, his company wouldn't exist. He asked me to consider him if I ever wanted to remarry. I didn't know if I loved him, but I didn't dislike him. My mother-in-law's words echoed in my ear, so I agreed to date but not marry. 2 years later, I said yes. He spun me around in joy. I asked for a prenuptial agreement. He agreed and gave me half his shares and property as my separate assets. Love might lie, but money doesn't. At our wedding, we looked at each other and said I do. I had already started a new life.